If someone had told me that palm oil, catfish, and scent leaf could destroy a friendship, I would have laughed. But that was before I met Daniel, before the pot of banga rice changed everything. Titi and I had been friends since childhood. We shared clothes, secrets, and even the same hairstyles. But I never imagined we could one day share a man. Daniel was a fiancé, tall, smooth talking, with that dangerous smile that could melt ice. But there was one thing about him. He valued food like treasure. The man believed a woman who couldn't cook had no business talking about marriage. Daniel, have you ever tasted banga rice? I asked with a smile. He scoffed. Only my mom cooks better. I entered the kitchen and unleashed my secret weapon. Palm fruit extract bubbling on the fire, goat meat and smoked prawn dancing in the pepper sauce, scent leaves releasing their perfume into the air. The aroma was enough to make a grown man beg. When I served him, he took one spoonful and froze. Then slowly his eyes closed and he groaned. That deep sinful groan that made me blush. This, he said, licking his lips is better than my mom's. From that day, Daniel became a regular visitor. Sometimes he came when Titi was busy, other times when she was sleeping. Each visit ended with him in my kitchen, watching me cook like it was an intimate performance. Our conversations got deeper. Our touches lingered longer. The night it happened, it was raining. Titi had stormed out after another argument. Daniel came over, drenched and angry, and I served him hot banga rice with chilled palm wine. After the last bite, he looked at me with hunger in his eyes, but it wasn't for food. You make me feel alive, more than she ever has, he whispered. I should have stopped him. I did not. From then on, Daniel's visits weren't about food alone. My kitchen became a secret place. The banga rice, a silent code. 2 months later, he broke off the engagement with my friend. The day he proposed to me, Titi walked into my house unannounced. She froze when she saw the ring on my finger and the half-eaten plate of banga rice on the table. Her scream shook the walls. Her slap burnt my cheek. Her tears burnt my heart. But Daniel held my hand and said, I choose the woman who knows how to feed me, body and soul. And that's how banga rice turned from a dish into a weapon of mass destruction. Titi did not just cry and leave that day. No, she stood there in my living room, shaking like a storm, her eyes blazing with a rage I had never seen before. You think you have won, she spat, her voice low but deadly. Enjoy him while you can. Then she walked out. Daniel laughed it off, said she was just bitter, but I knew Titi. She wasn't the type to lick her wound quietly. She was the type to sharpen her claws in the dark. At first, nothing happened. We went on with our lives. Daniel moved in with me, and every Sunday I cooked banga rice, his favorite. He would eat like a king, lean back in his chair, and tell me how lucky he was. Then the strange things began. First, my neighbor swore. She saw Titi lurking outside my gate at night. Then, one morning, Daniel's car tires were slashed. Another day, someone slipped a note under my door that read, the same way you got him is the same way you will lose him. But the real fire came during Daniel's birthday party. I had spent the whole day in the kitchen making a grand pot of banga rice. The smell alone could make angels descend. Guests were laughing. Music was playing. Then Titi arrived. She walked in like a queen, wearing a red dress, that clung to every dangerous curve. People turned to stare. Daniel froze. She smiled sweetly at me. Oh, don't mind me. I just came to drop a gift for the happy man. Before I could stop her, she took a plate, scooped my banga rice, and added something from a small silver container. The crowd gasped. "That's my special spice," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "It is called truth powder, the kind that makes men confess what they have been hiding." Daniel hesitated, but the crowd egged him on. He ate. Seconds later, his face went pale, his hand shook, and then, in front of everyone, he said the word that cracked my chest open. "I love you, but I still sleep with Titi." The room exploded. Gasp, shouts. Someone dropped a glass. I felt the floor sway beneath me. Titi smirked, her eyes locking with mine. "Banga rice or not, you were never enough to keep him." And then she walked out again, this time with her victory. After that birthday humiliation, I locked myself in the room for 2 days. Daniel kept knocking, begging to explain. But every time I opened my eyes, all I could see was Titi's smirk. When I finally stepped out, I wasn't the same woman. I was not going to cry anymore. I was going to fight. First, I threw Daniel out, his clothes, his shoes, even his precious wristwatches, all in a black nylon on the street. He begged, but my silence was sharper than any insult. Then I went after Titi. She had forgotten one thing, the street talk. I knew where she shopped, where she did her hair, even the little pepper soup joint, where she met her new client. Oh yes, after Daniel. She had moved on quickly to Richard Prey. I waited until one Friday night. She was at the pepper soup joint, laughing loudly with some businessmen twice her age. I walked in wearing a red wrapper, no makeup, but with a fire in my eye that made the room go quiet. "Enjoying yourself, Titi," I said, my voice like cold steel. She tried to laugh it off, still bitter, I see. But I did not come for words. I came with proof. I pulled out my phone and played a recording, Daniel's voice, from a drunken night weeks ago. I only stayed with Titi back then because she had something over me. She once threatened to ruin my business if I left her. The businessman's face changed instantly. He stood, threw a few notes on the table, and left without a word. Titi's face turned dark. "So you want war?" "Oh no," I smiled. "War has already started." From that night, it was open season. She spread rumor that I used juju in my banga rice. I told people she was sleeping with her landlord for free rent. She crashed my cousin's wedding to embarrass me. I sent a police report to her office claiming she was under investigation. The city became too small for both of us. People began calling it the banga rice war. But the final blow came months later. Daniel, the foolish and handsome man, came crawling back to me, saying he had made a mistake and wanted to marry me after all. I agreed and made him my guest of honor at a small family dinner. Guess who I invited as a surprise guest? Titi. When she walked in and saw him sitting there, his face drained of color, I stood up, clinked my glass, and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, these two think they have been playing me, but from today, I'm done with both of them, and I have one final message. May this be the last banga rice either of you ever tasted in your life." Then I poured the steaming pot onto the floor. The smell filled the room, but this time it wasn't sweet. It was the sense of victory and the end. After I ended things with Daniel and humiliated Titi at the dinner, I thought the war was over. I was wrong. 2 weeks later, strange things started happening. At night, I would hear someone knocking softly on my door, but when I opened it, no one was there. My potlets clanked in the kitchen without anyone touching them, and every morning I found a single palm nut placed on my doorstep. I knew Titi was behind it. Rumor began to spread that she had gone to a powerful herbalist in the village, someone who could tie a person's destiny with food. People whispered that she was preparing the final banga rice, the one that would finish me completely. One rainy evening, there was a knock at my door. I opened it and found a covered pot sitting in a woven basket. A note was tucked inside. Eat, and all will be forgiven. The aroma hit me first, rich, smoky, and mouth-watering. My body betrayed me. My stomach growled, but my mind screamed trap. I took the pot straight to Mama Ede, the old herbalist in my neighborhood. She lifted the lid, inhaled, and her face went pale. "This rice is not for eating," she said. "It is for binding your spirit to hers forever. If you eat it, you will never be free." I felt hunger rise in my chest. Then let her taste her own poison. That night, I sent Daniel a message. "Titi has made you something special. Go to her house." The next day, word spread fast. Daniel had eaten the banga rice, and before dawn, he was rushed to the hospital, muttering nonsense about two women pulling him apart. He fled the country week later, never to return. As for Titi, her business collapsed. People avoided her, whispering about the cursed cook. She left town too, vanishing like smoke. And me, I made one final pot of banga rice, very pure, clean, blessed, and took it to Mama Ide. We shared it quietly under the mango tree. As I took the last spoonful, I smiled. Not every battle is won by strength. Sometimes victory is knowing when to put down the spoon and walk away.